Hi, welcome to Drive Your Practice video of the week. And this week we have a very special guest, one of my Nitro members, Dr. Brett Grant from Chatswood, New South Wales. And today we're going to really have him talk about how he's been able to really grew his PVA from 33% increase. He talked about how he was able to increase his new patient volumes by a staggering amount just in the last 6 weeks. And more importantly, he's been able to convert so much better. He's had his second largest week in 3 years, the biggest week he's had, a biggest month actually, sorry, in the last year or so. And so welcome to the show, Dr. Brett.
Thanks, Lawrence.
Brett, I'd love to hear some of your, you've had some amazing growth. So let's talk about some stats so that people understand what we're going to be talking about. And we're going to give them exactly sort of a couple of things of how you did this. Okay, so number one, we kind of highlighted this. The last month, you just had your second biggest month that you've had in 3 years, since 2011. That was the biggest month that you've had over, I believe, 14 months. And so which is amazing stuff. But in the meantime, you've been able to grow your PVA to 33% growth, which is huge. Which is PVA, for those people who don't know, is patient visit average, which means that you're actually getting better retention in terms of your practice, and people are sticking around for lifetime care because they're actually getting and understanding chiropractic better. And more importantly, we're talking PVAs of the 80s, right? So we're not talking about low numbers here. We're talking about massive PVAs here. You're really creating a wellness practice, and you also have the number of new patients, the number of new clients that you've been able to get and generate over the last 6 weeks has been incredible. We're talking, let's get specific. The number of new clients that you've had in the last 6 weeks, from what you told me, is what was it? It's more than the number you had in the last 6 months.
Number of clients in 6 weeks than what we'd had in the previous 6 months.
All right, so let's think about that, guys. 6 months worth of new clients previously, compared to 6 weeks, all compressed in that amount of time. So that's amazing stuff. So let's get right down to it. Let's talk about, why do you think, what did you, since joining Nitro, what kind of things have you been working on that has helped you with converting your clients into, sort of prospect into clients?
I think, Lawrence, the biggest change would be, I guess, a change in mindset, but also more so congruency with what we do. I ran through and looked at all the videos and what you had laid out for us. And the thing that I guess I went and changed and looked at changing the most was the report of findings. I found that the report of findings that I was doing beforehand, it worked for me at one point in time, but I think I wasn't congruent with where I was at this point in time. And so when some people talk about a patient care versus a patient scare model, I guess that was more in the patient scare model, whereas this report is more looking towards a patient care model. And once I had changed that, and I think my mindset around practice had also changed regarding looking after the clients and how I went about dealing with them on a day-to-day basis.
And that's it does affect on two different levels as well. Not only does it, when you become more congruent with your message of how you want to present chiropractic, so it's almost like what you've done is, the old model worked and for a period of time, but now you've upgraded.
And as I think it was talking before, it's like going from just like a Windows-based computer to a Mac.
Yeah,
it's like you get a much better version. Yeah. I'm not saying, look, the old version, what I was doing, it was great.
Yeah,
it worked, but I think I changed, and I needed to upgrade and change myself.
Yeah, and I think also too is not only that you've changed, but also I think our prospects and our customers also changing as well. They're seeing chiropractic from a different point of view, and we got to make sure that we match and adapt and be congruent with that message. Now, you said that it actually affected not only your conversion rates. I mean, that's great and everything, but you also affected your mindset. Affected the way you took care of people. How did that affect and translate through the delivery part of the practice?
I think in terms of how it ran through the practice, it was more. I think it was more listening and connecting from the heart with clients, to pay attention to them and also looking at their needs as to what they wanted rather than what I wanted them to do. So setting out goals for them, the plans for them, looking to where chiropractic was able to fit into their life and their lifestyle. And the other flip side was, as I did that more, I was actually detached myself from what the CAs were doing, and pretty much paid attention to my job rather than trying to look at what the CAs were doing and micromanaging their jobs as well.
Yeah, I remember we had this conversation, a few months back when we talked about, you had so much going on, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But you had so much going on, and I remember one of the key things I still remember this is to say, just stay focused. Stay focused on your client, stay focused on the service that you're providing. And I remember, that having that effect of just not the mindset, but you actually letting go, and that was a big thing for you to let go of the control of the CAs rather than micromanaging them. You were actually kind of letting them do their job, and so you can focus on your job, which is basically focusing on delivering the service to the clients.
Yep, spot on.
Yeah, and so here how this affects is not just the way we scripted or the way we talked about the report of findings that affected your mindset, but also affected the way you talk to them, the table talk each and every single day.
Correct.
And that not only had better conversion, but also too you have better retention. And now you can really see your how your PVA has jumped up to PVA of 80, and now you're really creating a momentum, and that's going to give you that practice growth that you need, but also that practice retention that's going to help you create more referrals. And that's just another reasons why you're probably getting a lot more new patients. Wouldn't you agree?
Correct. And it's also, I think, once that occurs, I mean, we hit a point in practice where I guess we went through the doldrums. And you go round and round in circles wondering what's going to happen, and your confidence wavers as well a bit. But then once these little things start to change, and I talk about the report of findings. It's not the script. It's just the way. And I'm not word perfect with the script, so to speak. It's the way in which the delivery comes, and allowing the patients to do what they do, and having them be part of their care, rather than you being a dictator in their care. And it gives you that confidence as well to go out and do what you need to do. And you can stand there and say, this is what I stand for and this is what I do.
And this is the key thing, like we don't actually do scripts in Nitro or anywhere in Drive Your Practice, because what we do is we create frameworks. We have a framework of, these are the steps you need to follow. These are the sort of the things you need to describe, because that's what helps, because you and I are both different. Everybody else is different. There's no point following exactly the same way as I say it, because that wouldn't, congruent with you. And you actually created that framework. We know that we created a framework that you can actually utilize and follow the framework and create the momentum that you needed. The other thing too, as well, you've been able to generate all these new clients. I want to say this though, and I hope it's okay to talk about this. Brett, you've had your biggest month last month in terms of one of your biggest months in the last 3 years, and you've also in that span of time, in the 6 weeks, you've had the same amount of new clients in 6 months combined, right? 6 months worth of new clients. You've actually been able to compress that in 6 weeks. What did you do? Did you go out? I know that, I know the answer to this, but I want to make sure people understand it wasn't about any fancy promotion. We didn't do some like massive promotion out there or massive marketing. What did you do to get those new clients?
Lawrence, I talk the talk. Yeah. There was no promotion. There was no whiz bang secret gadget. It was just talking chiropractic from the heart, and join the dots. So as people could understand what was happening and being upfront and honest with them.
Exactly. And a lot of people see is, they see Drive Your Practice or see Nitro, they think that we're doing marketing stuff. It's not about marketing. It's about actually getting congruency. It's about getting things right in your head and also in the delivery of how you say things, but also serving the client better. And we talked about, creating customer service and creating client services, but you did all of this, with family. We have deaths in your family. Unfortunately, you had also some staff issues at the same time.
Yep.
And as well, you had some personal medical challenges that prevent you from practicing
Yep.
for a few weeks there. So all of this, and you still had your biggest month, your biggest number of new clients in that span of time. It's incredible that you've been able to do that. So what has Nitro done for you in terms of what we've been able to apply with the group and also with the frameworks that we've been able to provide for you?
I mean, Nitro's done a heap. I think the biggest thing is, Lawrence, you have your philosophy of we need to take action. And I can sit there and I could have sat there and wallowed in my own pity, and go. But I think the flip side is we had to take action in terms of what we do and become accountable for what we did. But then also choosing what is good for our practice at that point in time, because my practice isn't the same as Dr. Jones's down the road or Dr. Smith's up, somewhere else. There's so much stuff we can do, but it's about doing what's right for us, and where we are at that point in time, not comparing ourselves with anyone else, but also the encouragement that we get from the rest of the group for doing our thing. So it's about, there's that herd thing about Nitro, the encouragement. So I might be doing something around. I actually did a recall campaign.
Yeah, I remember.
So I might be doing something around that.
Yeah.
Whereas someone else might be doing talks, and so there are different things that we do, but there's encouragement from everyone else and ideas from everyone else to help us through that. Yeah. And just that thing gives me a buzz, because all these people, all these go-getters out there doing things, you just want to be part of it. It becomes contagious.
It is. It's like a virus, and the virus is a good thing.
A good one.
It's a good virus, because we formulated a group that allows us to kind of step up, because we have to step up or we're going to feel left behind. But you're right. It's about stepping up in your own way, with your own amount of your congruency to what you want. Because like you said, everybody in the group has different needs, and we try to cater. What we want to do is we want to find a strategic plan that's right for you, or for right individual, so that they can step up in their realm. Because some people may not be great at talks. They don't have to be. They don't have to do talks. They don't have to do spinal screen. Some people are fantastic at that, and they should do that. But for you, you've been able to really grow your practice without having to do any marketing. You've been able to massively change your practice. So I'm thankful for you, and I'm sure you're happy about that. And I can't wait to see what the following months and the years are going to bring, just because you're stepping up. And I do agree. It's about having the accountability and having a group of people who are not going to judge you, but who are able to help you formulate a plan, and also encouragement to do something right. So, thanks, Brett, for sharing that with us. I hope you got a lot of value out of this particular video. And, like he said, it's three major things. Number one is being congruent with the message, be truthful, be honest, serve your community. And two, the second thing is stop micromanaging. Stop doing things you shouldn't be doing. Do the things that you need to do as a chiropractor, and stop trying to micromanage your staff. And the third thing, I believe, it's about really just going out and taking action. Brett taking action on a few key steps, and that has really, really helped him create his better mindset and certainty, and has really helped his practice. And that's all really, it comes down to small things, not big things. There's no whiz bang stuff, as he mentioned. It's about doing the things in the right timing, and doing it well, and creating the momentum that you need. And also, I guess the fourth thing is hang out with people that's congruent with you, and that's going to congratulate you as well. So thank you so much for being on this video, Dr. Brett, and really appreciate it.
Welcome.
Guys,
more than welcome.
If you're, please go to driveyourpractice.com, go to facebook.com/driveyourpractice, and make sure you like us there and comment below this particular video. But more importantly, if you're interested in joining a group like Nitro, and you see, we actually only accept certain people, and you actually have to apply. If you feel that you're a right fit, just go to joinnitro.com. Take a look at what is required for you to even have a conversation. You can't buy it. You can't buy your way in. You actually literally have to kind of see if it applies to you. And if it's right fit for you, we'll have a conversation about it, and we'll do a strategic call and find out if this Nitro members is right for you, no matter where you are in the world. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week in the Drive Your Practice weekly videos.